So, just once you lie down on your mat, making any final adjustments to get really comfortable. Perhaps you have a cushion or bolster for underneath the knees, maybe something in supporting the head, neck, and shoulders. And when you are ready to, just closing down the eyes. And just tuning into the flow of your breath. In through the nose, back out through the nose. And it's finding a slow, steady rhythm. Finding a bit of softness in your face, around your jaw, your forehead, neck, shoulders. Really feeling the body start to relax. Then just take time to scan through your body, starting at the soles of the feet, working your way up to the crown of the head. And just checking in with how the body feels today. What areas are a little bit blocked or tight? What areas feel like they need a little bit of attention today? Where do you need to send your breath as you move through your practice? Just giving yourself more time here to really tune into your breathing rhythm. And start directing that breath a little more. Inhalations longer than usual. Exhalations longer than usual. Really move into the slow, steady breath, conscious breath, bringing awareness to that rhythm. Inhaling and exhaling. And just giving yourself 3 final breaths where you are, perhaps drawing that breath in through the nose, letting it go through the mouth, breathing in, breathing out. And then slowly give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. So lying down on the mat, just giving the shoulders a little bit of movement. Wriggle the fingers, wriggle the toes. And then take the arms up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. Inhale, reaching away from fingertips to toes. Exhale to fold the knees up into your chest. Just feel the lower back easing down into the ground. And perhaps you start with just a really gentle rocking from side to side. And perhaps that movement starts to get a little bit bigger, rolling all the way from one side of the body to the other side of the body. And then if you'd like to start some circles with the knees, keeping the knees together and just starting to roll yourself around, drawing circles with your lower back. So we just start to get that blood flowing in the body. We'll start to warm up, doing a few circles one way, then a few the other way. And then just bring yourself back to center, open the knees out wide, take the hands to the inner thighs, inner legs, and reach down for your ankles. And then just relax the legs, let the shoulders drop back. And take a few deep breaths here. So really enjoying that sense of decompression in the spine. Lower, middle, upper back, all sinking down into the ground. Releasing. Breathing into it here, seeing if you can let go of tension with every exhale. Expand with every inhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last deep breath. As you exhale, use the hands, draw the knees back together, and just set the soles of the feet down onto the floor. We'll take the feet hip width apart. Inhale with the feet hip width or mat width if you want to go a little wider. And then as you exhale, drop both knees down to the right. Let the left sit bone lift up away from the floor and just feel that gentle twist in your spine. So it's really gentle traction twist. And then we're breathing in, we're drawing the knees back up to center, and we're exhaling the knees down to the left. So your right sit bone will lift gently up away from the floor. Breathing in, come back to center, breathing out down to the right again. And just take your time moving the legs to the right, to the left. And it's all about just starting to warm up the body, and more importantly, getting the spine moving. So our spine has 6 movements that it can make. So axial extension, which is lengthening, creating space between the vertebrae, twisting to the right, twisting to the left, this lovely spinal rotation, sideways stretches, forward folding, back bends. I wasn't counting how many that was, about 5 or 6. Anyway, we're going to take our spine through all of those movements today, really create space. So once your knees go down to the left again, make that your last one. Bring the knees back up to the sky. Keep the left foot on the floor and just cross that right thigh over your left thigh. So no gaps in the legs, thighs are touching completely. And then we're going to lift the hips up, tuck the left hip bone underneath, drop the knees down to that left hand side. So your right leg sits on top. If you have the little kind of eagle wrap with the feet tucking the toes in behind the calf muscle, you can. Perhaps that left hand is just resting on the leg, and right arm can open out at shoulder height. And then we're taking nice deep breaths, inhaling to expand the tummy. Exhale to soften and release. Breathing in. belly, chest, ribs all rising and expanding. Exhaling, chest, ribs, and belly. And then just keep that slow, steady rhythm going. Inhaling and exhaling. With every breath out, we are allowing the body to melt down into that twist a little more. So we tune into those areas of the body that are gripping, holding on, that won't let go. And we try and switch them off with every exhale that we take. So in your last 2 deep breaths, can you relax the body even more? And then to come out, we're going to slide our left hand just underneath that right knee. Edge ourselves out really carefully, uncross the legs, and just take time to realign your spine. So hips would have been slightly off to the side, so we need to recenter them, bringing shoulders, hips, and spine all down the center of the mat again. Just taking a breath here, allowing the pelvis to level out. And then we'll cross left thigh over right thigh. Pick up the hips, tuck that right hip bone underneath you. Breathing in. As you breathe out, dropping the knees down to the right. So right hip bone underneath, knees down to the right side. Again, if you have that eagle wrap with the legs, you can do that. Doesn't actually matter if you do or don't. Just adds that extra element to it. Right hand can rest either on top of your left leg, or you can support from underneath. And then we're opening that left arm out, either to shoulder height or into a stop sign. And then you're breathing here. So again, tune into that sensation when you first come into your stretch. How much resistance is there in your body? And some of it might just be tightness in the muscles or tension you're holding on to. So we need to start breathing through that resistance. Inhale. You might rise up a little bit, belly expands. As you exhale, allowing yourself to drop. Start at the feet, scan your way up through the body. Check in, are my legs clenching, my hips, my teeth? Where can you soften even more? We've got 2 last deep breaths here. Exhale, melting down. Last deep breath in. Taking that right hand beneath the knee, supporting the weight of the legs so that as you exhale and roll out, your back isn't bearing the load. Uncrossing the legs and just realigning the pelvis and shoulders in the center of your mat again. Taking a breath here, just allowing everything to settle down into the floor. And then draw the knees up into the chest. So we just allow the back to ground once again. One hand onto each knee. Take the knees out wide and then start to stir the thigh bones around in big circles. So just doing a few circles one way, oiling up the hip joints, getting them ready for our standing poses when we get flowing, and then change direction, doing a few the other way. So just bringing movement into all of the joints. Last couple of lovely rolls there. And then hugging the knees into your chest, maybe interlacing the fingers around the shins, lifting the head, drawing the head up towards the knees for a moment, making yourself into a little ball. And then releasing the head down, roll yourself over onto the side of your body and then bring yourself up off of the mat and into a comfortable seat. So again, all about getting the spine really moving this morning, getting that blood flow. So we'll do our next little sequence, seated. Taking the right hand just next to the right side of your body. Inhale that left arm up. Exhale into your side stretch. So lateral flexion, the sideways movement of the spine. Breathing in, breathing out here. Couple more rounds of breath. And then start to pull the navel to the spine. We're going to sweep that left arm forward. So move really slowly for this first one, because we're not that warm in the spine yet. And then take your right arm up overhead, stretching up and over to the left. Inhaling, exhaling. Couple more rounds there. Last deep breath. And then again, tummy in. We sweep that right arm forward over to the right side and take that left arm up. Breathing in and breathing out, sweeping it back. Inhale, exhale. And perhaps starting to get a little quicker with that movement once the body feels ready to. If it's feeling really stiff this morning, your back in particular, then keep it super slow. So it might not be in time with your breath, it might be way slower. But just give yourself a couple more to each side. Nice deep breaths as you move. Exhaling. Inhaling. And then once you finish, to your left side that next time, release and come back up to sitting tall. Again, let's get into a little bit of rotation. Breathing in to raise your arms out and up. So we find length in the spine, axial extension, creating space. And then we're going to exhale, twist over to the right. Use that left hand on your knee. Right fingertips just behind the body. And you're taking that gaze back behind you. Inhale, exhale. Final breath. Breathing out. Come back to center, draw the tummy in, grow even taller as you raise the arms. Exhale, twisting over to your left. Left fingertips behind your body and right hand onto your knee. Breathing in, sitting taller, breathing out into your rotation. Inhale, exhale. Final deep breath. And then again, moving with your breath, your own rhythm. Perhaps an inhale as you lift the arms to lengthen, and an exhale to rotate. And you can do this with eyes closed if you like. Again, it's all about getting the spine moving. So it really doesn't matter if you're moving slower than me, faster than me, at the same speed. As long as it feels right for your body, then that's perfect. That's what we're after. We're starting to stretch out all the little muscles that connect the vertebrae, all those bigger muscle groups in our spine. Couple more there. We're keeping our spine healthy and supple so we feel more youthful. Last one to each side, guys. Just keep that going with your breath. No rush to finish. But once you twist to your left final time, Come back to center, raise the arms up again, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up to the ceiling, lift the shoulders up near the ears, and then keep the arms straight, drop those shoulders down. Exhale, release that interlace, take the hands behind your body, either palms open or palms together. Reach the hands down to the floor, drop the chin. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, raise the arms up again. Interlace other thumb on top. Turn the palms to the sky. Lengthen this time, keep the shoulders down. Feel the chest opening. Shoulder blades moving into the back of the heart. Exhale, release the hands. Again, other thumb on top. So your other interlace. Palms together or palms open. So palms together will stretch into the front of the shoulders a little more. It's the only difference. Feels a bit better for the wrists as well. And then final time, inhale, raise the arms up. Just touch the palms lightly. Exhale, releasing the hands down to your sides. And we'll come over onto the hands and the knees. So really trying to get as many movements in the spine in each orientation or each position that we come into. So with hands and knees on the mat, we'll start off with a side-to-side movement. So all we're going to do is gaze over the left shoulder and then move your hips. Try and move your hips and shoulders towards each other. So left hip, left shoulder. So we shorten the left side of the waist and lengthen the right side of the waist. So left hip, left shoulder moving towards each other. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, right shoulder, right hip towards each other. Inhale. Exhale. Left side. Breathing in center. Exhale, right side. And just keep that going. You're welcome to close the eyes. Feel the body glide. So when we come through center, we're in a neutral spine, a tabletop. As we go to the side, we're in that lateral flexion or side stretch movement. You should feel that stretching down the side of your body into your waist. And then we're going to come back to center. We're going to add on from here. So we're going to take that right leg back behind us. Pick the foot up, cross it over to the left side of your mat. Take the gaze around. So you're looking to that right heel, pushing that right heel away to really feel that stretch in your right hip, right side of the waist. Breathing in there. Breathing out, floating that leg up and then placing it back down onto the mat. We've got bright sunshine now, I could have stayed outside. We're going to send that left leg back behind us. Pick the foot up, step it over to the right side of the mat, breathing in. As you breathe out, gaze over your right shoulder towards that left heel and feel like your hips are almost moving out to the left. Breathing in, breathing out. We come back to center, to the hands and the knees. Next movement we're going to look at here is rotation. So how do we find rotation when we're on the hands and knees? We are going to do that by taking the knees a little bit wider than hip width. So that gives us a bit more stability. And we're coming into our thread the needle. So it's a really nice twist for your upper back. We're going to keep the left hand down, raise the right arm up, rotating through that upper spine, and let your pelvis reorient itself so we're not trying to block the movement in the hips. Open the chest. As you exhale, thread that right arm underneath the left, wrap it around, place it on your shoulder, give yourself a hug. And then inhale, raise the arm up. Exhale, twist and wrap that arm around. Last time, breathing in, raise that arm up. As you exhale, slide that right arm along the floor. Come down onto the side of your head and then stretch your left arm forward. So right arm, head and neck completely relaxed on the floor. Hips are up high, space in the back of the knees. And the only active part of this pose is the left hand pushing lightly into the floor to create space around the shoulder blades. So just feeling that in your upper back as you push the hand down and away from your face. And then just breathe into it. Are you taking short, shallow breaths, or are they long, deep inhalations and exhalations? So we have a couple more rounds of breath here. To come out, we place our left palm down, slide it back a little bit, and then push into that hand and come back onto hands and knees, ready for the other side. So again, maybe setting the knees a little bit wider. I just find that helps with not only balance, but giving my pelvis a little bit more room when we come into the twist. So we're inhaling to take that left arm up. Again, just let your pelvis go where it needs to. We don't want to block that movement there. We end up kind of putting pressure on the lower back. And then as you exhale, thread left arm underneath the right, wrap it around, place it on your shoulder. Breathing in, unravel, reach up. We're twisting here as well, open twist. Exhale into your closed twist. And just last time there, breathing in. Breathing out, twist and wrap. Placing that arm down onto the mat. Coming down onto the left side of your head. Just reposition my mic. And then relaxing the neck. Left shoulder. Coming up onto the fingertips of that right hand. It might just be enough with the fingertips resting into the floor. Or you might want to press that hand down and forward and stretch into the upper back. Nice deep breaths there. Last round of breath. And then sliding that right hand back, bringing yourself up onto the hands and the knees again, bringing those knees back in together, or maybe about hip width apart, a little gap between them. From here into our flexion and extension by tucking the toes. Inhale where you are, exhale, round your spine, draw chin, pubic bone in, send the hips back towards the heels, and then inhale, heart through and up, cow stretch, little back bend. Exhale, hips back towards the heels, stretch the feet, inhale, exhale. And start getting into your own groove with it. Breathing in. Up, forward, exhale, round, hips back to heels. Give yourself a few more there. Again, this is in your own time. You don't have to be in time with me. Move at your own rhythm, your own pace. We've got 2 more rounds. And then coming forward into your cow stretch. This time as you exhale, downward facing dog. See how the backs of the legs feel. Pedal out the heels if you need a little bit of hamstring release. Bending one knee, pressing the other heel down to the floor. Quite a nice stretch for the Achilles as well. And then feel free to keep the heels lifted and the knees a little bit bent. The hamstrings are a bit tighter. If the hamstrings are more open, you might have legs straight. And just step your hands one step closer to your feet. So you're in a shorter downward facing dog. Keep the right hand where it is. Pick up your left hand, take it to the outside of the right leg. Grab the right ankle or down near your heel and twist to look underneath your right arm. Rotation, breathing in, breathing out. Coming back to downward dog. Taking that right hand to your left leg. Again, twisting, looking underneath the left arm. Full rotation there. Breathing in, breathing out. Release, downward dog, taking the hands one step further forward, back into your normal length position. And then we're going to do a little bit of movement here. We're going to roll up onto the balls of the feet. Start to bring the shoulders forward over the wrists, not coming into a plank. We're going to start to bend the knees, send the hips back. So this is when we are looking forward into a little heart opener. And then eventually we lift the hips and we come back into downward dog. So we'll do that a couple more times slow and then get into our own rhythm. Lifting up onto the balls of the feet, rounding forward, so flexion in the spine. And then bend the knees, start to look forward, hips high, and then downward facing dog. So flexion as we round forward, extension as we take the hips up and back. Couple more. Again, this is in your own time. Prioritizing that spine. That's the whole point of what we're doing today. Spinal movement to set ourselves up feeling really good for our day. Last time, breathing in, breathing out. Come high to the balls of the feet. Set the knees down onto the floor, taking the knees a little bit wider, big toes together. And then sit back into your child's pose. Catching the breath here, so that's quite energetic. Requires a little more oxygen to the muscles. It's not quite a plank, but it feels like it. So just tuning into your slow, steady breath rhythm here. Couple of deep breaths. We started right down on the mat. We're going to slowly bring ourselves up to standing, working our way through all of those levels. And then we're coming back down onto the mat towards the end of our practice. Take a breath in, roll up to the hands and the knees. Tuck the toes, lift up, downward dog. And then step that right foot up to your right thumb. Feet hip width apart, back heel lifted, coming up into your crescent lunge. Take the hands on the hips for a moment and orient your pelvis so that your hip bones are facing straight forward. Tuck the tailbone a little bit. If that means micro bend in the back knee, then go for it. Take the arms up. Exhale, release your shoulders. And then take hold of your left wrist. Use the right hand, grab the left wrist. Inhale, reaching those fingertips up to the sky. As you exhale, stretch up and over to the right side of your mat. Press away through that left heel and feel that stretch all the way down this left side of your body. Exhaling to soften into it. Last deep breath. As you exhale, come back to center. Breathe out to draw the hands back to the heart space. We're coming into a twist. So we're going to twist through the torso to the right. Keep the legs as they are. Hook your left elbow to the outside of that right leg. So I like to use my right hand just to kind of steady that leg as I position the elbow, and then bring the hands together. So nice and solid in the leg. So that means body weight in your back foot as well as the front foot. Feel the feet pressing down into the floor. That traction helps us feel more stable, steady. And then reach out through the crown of the head so we keep length. Breathing in. Breathing out, come back through center. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, open out into your goddess pose. So facing the long edge of your mat. Bending the knees, and then just bringing the hands to rest by your hips. We're going to take an inhale, reach the right arm up and over. So I'm not doing your mirror image here. This is my right arm. So lift your right arm up and over, side stretch, sitting deeper into your goddess pose. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, side stretch up and over with the left arm. Breathing in, coming back. Breathing out. One more to each side. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. Breathing in, straighten the legs, take both arms up. As you exhale, interlace the hands behind your back. Again, you've got the option to have either palms together, better for the wrist, but maybe a bigger stretch for your shoulders, or palms open, which eases off on the shoulders. And then we're just going to turn the toes straight ahead. Coming into our forward fold. Inhale, heart lifting. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, folding forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Reach the arms up over the back of the head. And breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. Keep that movement with your breath. Search for length. Every inhale, easing out, easing in as you exhale. 2 more rounds of breath. Keep the breath audible. And then releasing the hands down onto the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. So extending your spine. If you have to have hands on legs for that, that's fine. Find a flat back. As you exhale, bend the knees, bring hands to thighs, roll yourself up to standing. We're going to inhale, raise the arms up. As you exhale, turn the toes to the right, bend your right knee into your warrior 2. So you're taking a couple of breaths there in your warrior 2, just taking the gaze over those right fingertips. So nice deep bend into that front knee. So again, here we're working on axial extension, which is just lengthening of the spine. Relaxing your shoulders down. Give yourself one more deep breath here. And then let's windmill the hands down around that front foot. Step yourself back into your downward dog. And then we'll come through those little spinal rolls again. So inhale to the balls of the feet. Shoulders coming forward, bending the knees, and then sending it back. Extending the spine before you release into your downward dog. And just keep that going. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Take a full breath in your down dog. And then bending the knees, looking forward to the thumbs, stepping left foot up to left hand. You stay where you are. I'm just going to turn around so I'll be facing you in a moment. Left foot forward, and then when you're ready, inhale up into your crescent lunge, bringing the hands onto the pelvis. We're drawing that left hip back a little bit to bring the left hip and right hip bone level, and then pulling the tummy in, raising the arms up. Press the way through that back heel, breathe here. Exhale, release the shoulders. Breathing in, breathing out. And then grab hold of your right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, reach those fingertips up. Exhale, take it into a side stretch. So feeling that stretch going all the way down this right side. Maybe you feel it more around the hip or waist. Depends on where that tension and tightness is. Couple more deep breaths. And then as you exhale, releasing the hands together at heart center, setting up for your twisted lunge. Right arm to the outside of the right leg. So use your left hand to steady the leg first, and then bringing the hands together at heart center. Deep breaths here. Press away through that back heel. Do you have traction down through your back foot? Press that foot down and back. Inhale. Exhale. We've got one last round. And then release. Push into that front foot. Open up into your goddess pose squat. This time, we're going to take the hands onto the thighs. Thumbs inside, fingers outside. Inhale here. As you exhale, drop your left shoulder down. So again, I'm not doing your mirror image here, so drop your left shoulder down. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Come back through center. Exhale. Right shoulder down, gazing over the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, one more each side. Breathing in, breathing out. Come back to center. Keep the knees bent, pull the tummy in, push the feet down and away from each other. Come up into your goddess pose. Inhale, open the arms out to stop sign. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathing in. Goddess pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Final time, breathing in. Breathing out, hands to heart. This time, straighten the legs, raise your arms all the way up. As you exhale, hands to hips, turn the toes forward. Breathing in, lift the chest. As you exhale, folding forward, so hinging from your hips, little bend in the knees if you need it. And this time we're going to hold on to outside the legs, ankles, or big toes, wherever you're comfortable holding. Take a breath in, lift the chest. Exhale, micro bend the knees, crown of the head down towards the mat, shoulders lifting away from the neck. Prasarita, Padottanasana D, standing forward fold. Still aiming to lengthen the spine, even though it is a forward fold. We want to be tilting the pelvis. So if there's not much movement in the pelvis and you're rounding your back a lot, bend your knees to really free up that space for your spine to lengthen. Take another breath in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to hips. Breathing in, come all the way up to center. Raise the arms up. Turn the left toes back to the front of the mat, right toes in, open out, warrior two. So adjust the feet. Our feet weren't wide enough to make that transition without shifting the feet. So go wider, front knee over the front ankle, arms up. Again, we let the pelvis orient itself so there's no strain on the lower back. So allow the hips to open. And then just taking your gaze beyond the left fingertips, go for length in the spine. Inhale, exhale. We've got our final round of breath here. As we exhale, we windmill the hands back down around that front foot. We step back into our downward dog. Take a breath. Inhale, come forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, round all the way back. One more like this, breathing in. Exhale all the way back. Take the knees down, hip width or mat width, big toes touching. Sink the forehead down towards the ground. Child's pose. And then just enjoying that stillness. It's time to be still and observe the breath. Finding that slow, steady rhythm after all of your standing poses, standing asana. And then from here, we're slowly rolling ourselves up to sitting, moving the hips over to the side, swinging the legs around in front. And then just taking time here to join the soles of the feet together and to open the knees out to the sides. Hold on to your ankles, find length in your spine. So you don't need to push the knees down. We're not trying to get the knees any lower. In fact, we're relaxing the legs, but we are holding onto them in order to sit taller. So find that extension in your spine. Close the eyes. Keep sending the heart forward. Tuning into that calm rhythm of breath. Inhaling to sit tall. As you exhale, drop the chin to chest. Start to round your spine. Take the hands onto the floor maybe, depending on where you are. You might be up a little higher, or you might keep rolling forward and walking the hands out in front of you. So spine rounding, breathing into it here. Inhaling, exhaling. Couple more rounds of breath. And then walking the hands back in, drawing the knees back up towards each other. And just making your way down onto your back again. Grabbing blankets, cushions, having them handy. Easing yourself down onto the back of the body. Just make sure there's nothing underneath your head just yet. I'm just going to do a couple of spinal rolls here to counter that last forward fold. Curling your tailbone underneath, pressing into the feet, drawing the belly in, and lifting the hips just as high as you feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be very high. And then inhale with the hips lifted. As you exhale, rolling down, upper, middle, lower back. Releasing, inhaling. Exhaling, curling the tailbone underneath. Pressing into the feet, starting to float your hips up higher. Inhale here. Exhale, rolling down. Upper, middle, lower back. Couple more rounds of breath. And then the next time you lift the hips up, holding here, breathing for 3. Belly in for 2. Shoulders soft. Last inhale. As you exhale, maintain that length in your spine. That once you set your pelvis down, your back is lengthening. Hands can move onto the belly. And from here, you can simply slide right leg out, left leg out. Moving into your final relaxation, your Shavasana. Perhaps you have a blanket underneath the head. Perhaps a blanket to cover the body, a cushion for underneath your knees. Just make sure that you are comfortable and warm wherever you are. And then just tuning into that movement of breath in the body underneath the palms of the hands. Expanding with every inhale, releasing with every exhale. Letting the body melt down into this relaxation pose. This pose marking the point in our yoga practice where the physical aspect of it ends and the internal aspect becomes even more important, that focus on our breath and that process of drawing the mind back into the present through that focus on the breath. Noticing how different the body feels now at the end of your practice, how it felt when you first lay down on your mat. Whole body relaxing down into the ground. Muscles relaxed, joints soft, whole body feeling heavy. Being a gentle awareness on the breath. And then slowly deepening the breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then your next inhale through the nose. And let it go through the mouth. Bring a little bit of movement back into the fingers and the toes, into the arms and the legs, stretching out the body. And if you're in a really comfortable spot and you don't really want to move the body, feel free to stay in your relaxation even longer. Stay there as long as you want to. But if you feel ready to bring yourself up to a comfortable seat, then roll yourself over to your side first, and then use the hands for support. Ease yourself slowly up. And if you are joining me in seated meditation to finish, we're just going to join our palms together at the heart center. Inhale to bring the thumbs and the sternum together. Next exhale, bowing the head down towards the heart. Just taking a moment here to think of one thing that you are grateful for, be it your health, situation in life, someone, a specific person that you're grateful for, and then keeping that sensation of gratitude with you as you take your final breath in, final breath out. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Lovely to have you this morning.